Okay, so you're thinking about taking a sabbatical. So one of the things I wanted to just discuss with you while I have Lake Kivu in the background is some of the things to consider. And first, I think is time. Like, how much time do you think you can possibly get? Are you able to get time that is available to you that will be paid? Are you able to get time that you are willing to take unpaid? Important question. Also, once you understand time, is where will you go? What region of the world will you go? Do you want to do Africa? Do you want to do Asia? Do you want to stay in the US? Do you want to explore Europe? Do you want to jump from a couple of different continents? All available to you, which is really dependent upon time and, of course, budget. And then as you think about budgets, to be honest with you, the time became available to me more so than the budget, but I made it work. So it's important that you figure out what's really important. Is the time away essential or something, an experience that you really want? You'll find money. And I'm not saying for those who are strapped and don't have, you can't pay your existing bills, this may not be a thing for you to do at this point in your life. But if you are able to be creative, and by creative, I mean there are a number of things. You can use points. You can, of course, start saving, and at a time when you are saved enough to go at a level that you're able to go. You can also start fundraising, crowdfunding, whatever it is that is going to allow you to put together a package that you will be comfortable with. My own personal experience was I was going to start doing some low budget hotels. And, depending on where you're going, sometimes low budget is really not exactly the thing to do. And so you have to be mindful of where you are in life. I've done low budget before, and I saw some of the rooms that I could afford with a low budget, and I just thought, you know what, I'd prefer to minimize or reduce another part of my travel, but make my accommodations comfortable. And so that's what I decided to do. So one of the great things that I was able to do is I had a number of points that I could use. Depending upon where you're going, you can find some efficiency with points as well. I found that going to Africa allowed me to use points, and I went off season. And that's another thing that I would say. Think about the time that you're going and some of the efficiencies that can come as a result of you being in an off season. There's some challenges in off season as well. You might be one of the only tourists, or few of the tourists that are in the area. You might, you get more attention than you might when it's busier. Weather conditions might also be different. Right now is the rainy season in Rwanda, but honestly, I've had some really great days. Weather has been beautiful, and now some rain is coming, and so we need them both. We got to take the good with the, I'm not even calling rain bad. We've just got to take each season as it comes. And so that's something you have to consider. I would also say you want to consider how you want to travel. Do you want to travel with a lot of things, or do you want to travel lightly? And then what kind of materials, equipment will you need? So do you need clothes that dry very quickly? Do you need clothes that you can make sure that you can squeeze into, a bag that you're able to bring with you pretty minimally? How do you want to move through the trip is, I think, another thing to consider. The other thing that I would say too is, how are you going to be able to manage your bill paying and sustaining your household at home? If you live alone and all those things are you might want to consider those before you start planning. Can you prepay things? Can you have somebody else take a look for your mail? Are you able to put your mail on hold? Which is a thing, you can, but it's only for a month. So if you're staying beyond that time, how do you handle those kind of logistics? I think that's another thing to consider. And the last thing I'll do on this video, we'll do a part 2. The other thing that I would say that you need to also consider is communication. In Africa, for example, everything is digital. So do you want to buy a phone that you can add money to using a SIM card? Or does your current phone allow you to add an additional SIM card that you can add time and money? And in a lot of ways, you can make payments here by using that same SIM card. So everything is pretty digitally transferred here. And so not having that and the impact of Wi-Fi when you don't have that, which I've experienced, not having a lot of Wi-Fi outside of being in a hotel setting or a lounge can be limiting. So think about those things as well. That's all for now. Bye.